Hello everyone and welcome back to Retired Happy. This is your Retired Happy friend Carolyn from Mississippi. And I want to welcome each and every one of you back who have been here before, but also all of you who this is the first time you've been here and you just found my channel. Welcome to Retired Happy. On our channel we talk about things that give us happiness and joy and give us fulfillment in life during our golden retired years. So some of the things that we're interested in is cooking, sewing, housekeeping, just taking care of our home, crocheting, knitting, watercolor, and talking about family and talking about what's meaningful and important in our lives. So I want to thank each and every one of you for all the comments that you made last week and for coming back and putting your opinions and answering questions in our comments. So today's visit, I'm going to show you how I make the bruschetta salad. It is a salad that I had when I was in Italy that I love and I've made many times during the summer. And it is just perfect during the summer. It's cold, it's satisfying, it's a complete meal. It's tomatoes, olive oil, bruschetta, the bruschetta bread, the basil, fresh basil out of the garden, garlic, and the fresh mozzarella cheese. And I put that over I use the sourdough bread because I don't keep the French bread or Italian bread in my freezer, and I love the texture of my sourdough bread. It's the Gold Miner sourdough bread. And I'm also going to show you how I followed a tutorial on YouTube and how I made a watercolor note card. So I hope you like that. And Wednesday, come back because I'll be making the pineapple cherry crisp, and I'll be showing how to make that cute little stuffed pincushion. So I had some requests for that, and I showed that on the video Monday, the peak sticks. But it's going to be making this little pincushion. It's quick, it's easy, and you'll enjoy it. It'll be a lot of fun. So stay tuned, and we will go on with making our bruschetta. We'll go ahead with our watercolor. A lot has happened since I did the sneak peek on yesterday. So a lot's happened on the world stage. And we have to be ever mindful and ever watchful and ever prayerful because things are changing pretty fast in our world. And it should not catch us by surprise if we've been keeping up with the news and if we've been following Bible prophecy or what Jesus says about the end times. So stay tuned on that. And my thankful for today is I had lost a necklace, the little cross necklace that I wore last Sunday. I lost that, and I had changed clothes after church and put all my things away, I thought I had hung my little necklace up on my little, I showed you on my closet how I hang my short necklaces, and I put it up and I thought I hung it on the little hook. And then when I went to get it again, I couldn't find it anywhere. So I looked everywhere. I had changed clothes, looked in the bathroom, looked in the dirty clothes pile. And for days, my necklace was lost. Well, Thursday, I was getting dressed and picked up my shoes to put my shoes on, and there was my necklace. It hadn't caught on the hook when I was hanging it up, and it had fallen to the floor, and it was hiding right there under my shoe, just waiting for me to come find it. So I have my necklace back, and I'm so happy. And the good word for today is no one knows, no one cares how much you know until everyone knows how much you care. So no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So that brings us right back around to the golden rule. Do unto others as you want them to do unto you. So we have to show care to each other. That's our purpose. That's why we're here, is to serve God in everything we do, give Him the praise, the honor, and the glory, and to help each other out. That's the first two commandments, which we went over in church today. First one is love God with all your heart. The second one is love others as you love yourself. So we will get on with making the bruschetta, the watercolor paint. Wednesday will be the pineapple cherry crisp and making the pincushion. So thank you so much for joining. Share your smile with everyone. And if somebody needs a lift and you see somebody's kind of down and discouraged, give them a smile or a kind word and help them get over the bump in life they're going through. Thanks a lot. And if you like my channel, please like and please subscribe, and then you'll get notifications when another one is coming out. We were almost up to 8,000 subscribers last week, so we're very, very close. So it's just a goal, and God has blessed my channel, blessed me, and I would love to see 80,000 subscribers this next week. Thanks so much for spending some of your time with me and Maisie. Today in Mississippi, it's going to be actual temperature about 93 to 94. So feel like temperature, it's going to be on up into 100. So I'm inside, going to keep the air conditioner on, keep the door shut, and try to keep it cool for me and Maisie. And I'm making a really light, cool lunch. This is one recipe that I had when I was in Italy that I absolutely love. And it's a fresh tomato, basil, olive oil, a little salad, and I'm going to use it. It's called bruschetta. So for my bread, I'm going to use my Gold Miners sourdough bread because that's what I use for recipes like this. And I'm going to show you how to make it. There's no exact ingredients to it, so I just mix it up on how it looks, on how much I want to eat for that day. And to keep the basil fresh and the tomato fresh, I always make it fresh right when I'm ready to eat it. So I'm going to show you. I hope you like it, and I hope you'll try it because it's fantastic on a hot day like today. The ingredients are fresh tomato. I got this at the produce stand yesterday, and we are now getting in our fresh Mississippi grown field tomatoes. So I have tomato. I just picked some fresh basil from my garden, the fresh mozzarella cheese, garlic, the olive oil, balsamic vinegar, some fresh ground black pepper, and I have sea salt, so you can use either sea salt, mozzarella salt, and a lot of people now are using the Himalayan salt. So whichever coarse, but I do like the coarse salt. I don't like the fine ground table salt. And my slice of Gold Miners sourdough bread, I'm going to put in the toaster and toast that. And I like to rub garlic on my toast before I toast it, and that gives it some extra garlic flavor. So we'll get started and start preparing it. So to get started on the watercolor, I am not a professional or a teacher. This is a hobby and something I strictly do as an amateur and just for the fun of it. So having said all of that, I do follow a lot of artists on YouTube. I like to watch Diane Antone, and I think Karen Rice is another one, and Jolly Polly. But it depends on what I want to do at the time. So right now I'm going to kind of follow a tutorial, not exactly, but one that I saw Diane Antone demonstrate. So what I'm using, I'm going to use watercolor paper. This is acid-free, cold press, medium weight, and it's made by Artist Loft. And I got this at Michael's. So what I do when I start off is I like to make mine into greeting cards that I can use. So these are the envelopes that I use. I use those for my quilted hearts and for my watercolor note cards. And this is a standard 4x6 invitation envelope. Get those at Office Depot. So I put it on my paper and I take a pencil, not a pen, but just a lead pencil, and then draw around the size of the envelope and then go up to the top and draw around it again. And that's going to give me the size that I want to make my note card, and it lets it fold like that. So when I get through, it will fold in half down. Now if I wanted to make it longwise, well, I couldn't do that on this paper because it's not big enough either way, so I have to go this way. So that's how I start off. Now before I print it, when I get through, I can take my eraser and erase those lines a little bit so that they won't be as noticeable. And then when I do print it, I have cardstock that I print my cards on, and this will be my cutting line. So I have to cut it before I can use it as a note card. Okay, so this is the watercolor I'm going to use. It's Vive Art, Art Supplies, and these are the colors. So this is my color diagram and all of the watercolors. So I'm going to start by going ahead and getting my watercolor wet and activate the paint. So let's see, what size? Okay, what I'm going to do, this is how Diane Antone started hers out. She did a splatter paint. So I'm going to take my toothbrush and go ahead and activate some of the colors. And I don't know which colors I want to use yet, so I'll just, and I have seen some people who are instructors and know what they're doing to take a little spray bottle and they spray their watercolor to get them activated. But this is the way I'm going to do mine right now. So there, that's got it started. Now I think I'm going to go ahead and start with yellow and kind of splatter the background yellow. So let's see how that works out. We'll see how it develops and see what comes of it. And with watercolor, or I guess really with any color or paint, you really never know how it's going to turn out when you first get started. So we're going to see how it develops. Okay. So far so good, I like that. Okay, so now I'm going to go in and let me move you a little bit closer so you can see the paint. So now I'm going to go in and pick up some of the pinks right up here on the top. spreading it all the way to the back. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. Now let's see what other colors we want to get in there. We of course need some green, because what I have in mind, I don't know if it will work out this way or not, but what I have in my mind is making this a field of wildflowers. So that's kind of what I'm going for. Don't know if that's what I'll get, but that's what I'm going for. So let's get a little green and splatter kind of down here, kind of in the middle where the stems would be. Okay. What else do we need to do? Let me think. We have plenty of yellow, plenty of red, and that made orange. So I don't have any blue on it yet. And I do have, I think blue flowers are really becoming more and more popular. I have 2 blue flowers in my backyard, and I've seen a lot more blue flowers. I don't like that, so let me go in and dab that. So I'm going to remove that. That got a little bit too big of a blot. Okay, I'm going to turn off the camera and I'm going to just let this dry for a few minutes, and then we'll come back after it dries. So I ended up getting my hair dryer and blowing on it to help it to go ahead and dry faster. And I poured out my water, got some fresh, clean water to start over again. So I'm dipping into the greens and picking up some green and going on my little palette and just kind of putting some stems in. So just random stems, and down on the foreground, closer to the front, the stems need to be a brighter green. They need to be darker toward the back and brighter toward the front. So this is just very, very random. And I'm doing this as I go, so I'm just having to see how it develops. And kind of go from there. So when you're creating and you're starting from scratch with nothing, you can just do that and look at it and see what you think it needs and where you think it needs it. So right now I'm just filling in a little bit of the base so it won't be so bare. Just filling in the background a little bit. Okay, that's coming along nicely. I like that. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit of brown and see what brown will do for me. This is kind of a yellow brown up close to the front. Okay. Now on some of the leaves, I want to make some leaves on there. So let's see if we can get some that look like they have leaves. That looks like a good one to be in the front. This is a real good one to be in the front. So let's put a few more leaves on a few more stems. And I may come back in here and add some more flowers. This is just kind of seeing how it's going to develop as we go. And a lot of times I like to come back in with my little pen at the end for detailing. And it just keeps developing and growing. And okay. All right, I think I like that. Okay. Well, let's see. I think I want some more. Closer to the front, we can get more detail, where in the back it's going to be a little bit more just kind of blurred in the distance. So okay. Okay, all right. Now, since I have all of this red on this side, I didn't get much red on that side, so I need to come back in and see if I can get a little bit more red. So I have a little red spot right here, so I'm going to go ahead and try to add some red. So I'm going to go back in on my paint palette. And I don't really want it symmetrical, don't really want it the same, but I do want it balanced. And this side is heavier than this side, so I want to come back in and kind of balance. And this is just my style of painting. I like to do everything not really, well, I have done some things very precise, but okay, I think I'm liking that. Now I want some blue, so I'm going to come in with some blue up in the top for the sky. And since I have some blue here, I really just leave my paint on my little painter's palette here. And then next time I come in to paint, I will just add to what was already there. So what I'm doing now is just going to put a little bit of impression that there is some sky in the background. Okay, I'm going to take my pen and see about coming in and adding some detail here. And your imagination is the only limitation you have, so Okay. Okay, and I had no plan when I started on what the end result was going to be, so we are just designing it, so to speak, as we go. Okay, and wherever you see something that looks like a flower, I can make it into a flower. Okay, so this is how it's developing so far. And my battery is down on my phone, so I'm going to have to turn it off for a minute and go charge the battery. In the meantime, I'll let all of my paint dry and see where we want to go from there. Well, my camera went off and I had to recharge my phone and my camera. So I went ahead and did some finishing on my watercolor note card because I had some other things I had to get onto. So this is the finished card. And after my camera went off, all I did was come back in with a little bit more green on my paintbrush. And I just like to add a little different color just to give the painting a little bit more definition and depth to the picture. Now, I am by no means a professional. This is strictly a hobby and I do it for fun. And I'm happy with it. I had fun doing it and I had fun finishing it up. So after I get my watercolor on, this is just a black pen, and I had to try a lot of different pens until I got one that I liked. So this one is kind of a fine tip, and this is a little Sharpie. It says ultra fine, but it's a little bit heavier and darker than what I want. So I had to just play around till I got one. I also use sometimes my lead pencil and go in with just my lead pencil. So with my ballpoint pen, I did some definition around some of the watercolor spots that were toward the front because the back is blurred in and it's kind of fuzzed into just kind of abstract. So I went around some of the flowers and drew around the flowers. Then I drew some stems, drew some leaves, and with my green watercolor, I went in and added a little bit darker color. Now on my watercolor, I like to go to the back and put whatever I have on the front. I like to put a little something on the back. And then I've already pre-printed my watercolor painting by Carolyn on the back. I have run off a sheet, so when I do a new watercolor painting or I do a new note card, I can put that on the back of it. And I just went into my computer, my word processor, and played around with it till I got something I like. So then after I got through outlining and defining different objects, and I could have just left it splatter paint. I really liked it just left like it was with splatter paint, but I went ahead and did draw some flowers. Then I come back with, this is Createology. It's glitter glue, and I like to highlight some of the flowers or highlight something on my watercolor painting with just a little glitter to give it a little sparkle. I hope you can see that with the light shining on it, but I highlighted that one, that one, that one, and that one with the glitter. And then this is the first time I've done this because I got some new stamps and I found these at Hobby Lobby, and I took the thank you stamp. So all of these different sayings came in this package. So I could use any of those to make a special note card. So I took the thank you and went on my stamp pad and just positioned it right above my flowers, and this will be a thank you. So some who order my Cooking with Maggie cookbooks, you'll get one of these cards in your package as a special thank you. So anyway, I'm happy with that. I like that. I didn't know how it was going to turn out when we started. You saw how the splatter just splattered on it randomly. And this is the pad that I used. It's archival ink, acid-free, permanent, and waterproof, jet black. So I'm going to do something on the back of this card. I might not do it on all of them, but I'll just show you. This is another stamp that I got, and I got this one also at Hobby Lobby, and I really, really like it. So I'm going to take that stamp and just on the back of this card, press down really good, and I'm going to put a butterfly on the back of it. So I like that. I like the way that looks. Now, if I had planned ahead and knew I was going to use the butterfly, I would have put my flower on this side and put the butterfly on this side. But I didn't know ahead of time I was going to do that. That's an afterthought. That's a create as you go, and I hope you enjoyed that project. Please let me know in the comments if you enjoyed that little tutorial, and I will put the link to Diane Antone, the YouTube tutorial that I followed to do this, because you know, I've told a lot of people I can follow really well, but and some things I can create, but on watercolor I like to follow somebody else's tutorial and watch how they do it, and then I can follow along. So let me know, and I hope you enjoyed that. Oh, and I was going to show you, this will be on another tutorial later on. I get these little brown bags at the produce market. When I go to the produce stand, they always put my produce in a brown paper bag. And I have to get a brown paper bag for each thing, like one for okra, one for squash, one for tomatoes, and so they can know what's in it and weigh it. So instead of throwing all of these away, I'm repurposing my bags. So you can use this in the fall when you get ready to give your homemade jams and jellies, and you're going to put one of the grippers that you made. Make you a gift bag and paint it. This is watercolor. Now last year when I was going to another church, I painted a lot of these, and I used my acrylic paint, and most of those were sunflowers, because I love painting sunflowers and I love painting pumpkins in the fall. So I'll show you how I did this one on a later tutorial, and I might show the watercolor versus the acrylic paint, but this is just an idea. Let me know how you like that, and we'll see about doing that at a later time. Thank you. Well, it just rained again this afternoon, and I was so glad because it was hot. Temperature was 93 with a heat index of 105, and my tomato plant was wilted, my hibiscus was wilted, and I was dreading having to get out and water everything because it's so humid outside. What do you say, Maisie? What do you see?